Another thing that I think honestly is gonna be terrible to segue to it is, not to kinda talk down on anything, but the Comic-Con virtual event, alright? It was just announced, that Disney is going to be joining the Comic-Con at Home lineup, and we kinda touched upon this, what was it, like, last week or the week before when we were talking about the DC fandom event. I kinda brought up, like, what is Comic-Con's virtual event even going to be? If DC is gonna be doing their own thing, like, are they even going to be a part of the Comic-Con virtual event? There's really not a whole lot going on that, like, Marvel could even show at Comic-Con, so even if it wasn't gonna be a virtual event, I don't even really know, just kind of because of the climate, what any of these studios could really even show, and I mean, if you're not gonna have the big studios there as a part of Comic-Con showing, trailers or, having the panels and everything, without actually being able to be at Comic-Con and on the floor, kind of, living it up and doing the Comic-Con experience, looking at all the shops and everything, like, what is even gonna be the point at this point? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And,
definitely.
like, um I'm glad that they're doing the event. I think it's a good move that Comic-Con decided to do the virtual event as opposed to do nothing. But like I said, with the announcement of DC fandom, I just don't even know what else they're gonna, not that DC is the only thing that's gonna be there, but I haven't heard anybody else or any other news come in really until this news that Disney Plus is bringing some of their stuff to it. And kinda to touch back on that, the reason I said it was gonna be kinda crappy, I think, is because they're not bringing anything that I find to be very interesting or compelling at all. Like,
Yeah.
it's, some Marvel 616, thing, something called The Right Stuff, and then a Phineas and Ferb movie. And, I mean, right away, the Phineas and Ferb and The Right Stuff thing seems much more in line with just a Disney-oriented thing, so something that would, like, likely be shown at D23, would make sense to be shown at D23.
Yeah.
I don't really know if the audience is gonna really be there at Comic-Con or a virtual Comic-Con event that would really be interested in it. I might be wrong, but at least coming from me, I don't really know if I find this very compelling. Like, at first, when I first saw this article, I thought I misread it, and I was more excited about it to some degree because I thought it said Disney was doing their own virtual event,
Yeah.
which would have made more sense because they can't do D23 now, and, yada, yada, yada. So that I don't know, that made sense. But then when I, actually read the whole article and everything, obviously found out I was just gonna be a part of the Comic-Con at Home event, and it's just, like, nothing really too compelling. So, like, again, what are they even gonna have at this Comic-Con virtual event? Like, would it be something you'd even be interested in, like, viewing at this point in time, Rick?
Yeah. I mean, I don't really know. Everybody's going to these virtual events, and it's kind of like we touched up on, like with the Star Wars thing. It's just like, what are you actually going to really cover? What's going to be there? But the thing that I think this is all missing, obviously, with the whole COVID thing going on, is there's just not that interaction. Like people don't go to Comic Con just for the panels and that sort of stuff. They go because of like exclusive items that are available, cosplaying, there's so much more to it, and you take, like, most of that out of the equation, so,
Right.
mm,
That's the thing, and that's kinda where I was like, again, not trying to dog on the Comic-Con virtual event by any means, but it just doesn't seem like it's gonna be a very compelling thing, like, and
yeah.
it's sad to say.
Well, it's gonna be harder to keep your attention when it's all virtual as well, and,
Right, and that's the thing, like, with it being virtual, you kinda have to have the big studios there with, like, some content to show,
yeah,
'cause elsewise, what are they really gonna show? Like,
exactly.
because again, the things that Disney's bringing to the Comic-Con virtual event here, like, I wouldn't, if I was actually attending Comic-Con, I would not be looking at these panels.
No,
Like, it wouldn't
no,
be anything I would actually be interested in.
yeah,
And I feel like most people who go to Comic-Con, they're there for, I mean, maybe the Marvel 616, oh my god, 616 thing would be good, um, but I don't know if it's not like something that would sell out Hall H either.
no.
Not sell out, but fill up. And, I don't know,
What
it's kinda disappointing.
what is the Marvel 616?
It says it explores Marvel's legacy of stories, characters, and creators. It's a each documentary in the series is directed by a different filmmaker.
It's interesting.
so there's not a whole lot of information. It's just gonna be exploring just, some stuff in the Marvel 616, part of the comics, I'm guessing, more than
Yeah.
anything, which, like, again, could be interesting, but is it worth having, like, its own panel for? And, like,
Yeah.
it almost just feels like almost like a cop out kind of thing that they're not in a negative way, but just like they can't do their own event. They don't even have enough things to show on their own
So they're
event.
just kind of
Yeah, so it's like, well, we can just do this and it'll like be something that the Comic Con people can use because they're the ones that are hurting bad because Comic Con had to be canceled.
yeah.
Which so I mean, it's definitely good that Disney gave them something to do and actually wanted to be a part of it in some way. I just think it's disappointing with like that's like kind of like that's it. Like, it just
Yeah.
doesn't seem like much. Not on like a fault on Disney side, but just for like Comic Con in general. Like I'm sure they need something big to get people to be interested in their virtual event.
Yeah.
And
There's nothing that's that big.
yeah, and that's the problem is like because of the shutdowns, even if all the big studios could like be a part of it and DC wasn't doing their own thing and whatever, they haven't been able to been, like, working for the past couple months, so, like, I don't really know what they no one has any content to show really unless it was stuff they were working on pre-COVID lockdown,
Yeah. Yeah.
and, like we said with the Batman thing, they'd only been filming for, like, a month or so, so even come DC fandom, what are they gonna have to show of, like, the Batman? Because they really haven't been able to film all that much as it is, and I feel like it's the same thing with, if every studio was gonna be at this Comic-Con thing,
Yeah.
no one's really gonna have much to show.
No.
Like, and that's just kind of like the sad reality I feel like here, which again just hurts Comic Con more so than anything. Because like they need to put on a good show. They need people to maintain their interest, and in the end, it's not gonna really hurt Comic Con. Like come next year, assuming everything's back to normal to some capacity. I mean, like Comic Con theoretically will just be as popular as ever. It's not really gonna hurt anything, I wouldn't imagine,
Yeah.
unless like the DC fandom thing. Like, if they start doing their own thing now, and they do the virtual event, like, themselves every year and don't take anything to Comic-Con, and other studios start thinking and doing the same exact things, just not make the effort to actually go to Comic-Con.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that could hurt it, but that's all this hearsay and speculation, but I don't know. Hopefully, this is good. Hopefully, maybe they can bring some more stuff to it too. So, I don't know, but, hmm,
I don't know. I feel like with Comic Con too, usually there's always something huge being talked about or released, obviously not in like a quarantine or COVID sort of situation, but there's just not a whole lot of things to look forward to, I guess is the best way to put it.
no, and that's the thing, not to say that there's not going to be at all, but, like, when DC announced the Phantom event, I was excited for it. It sounded good. Like, all the things that they said they were gonna be bringing to it sounded good. They had a
Yeah.
lot of stuff that surprisingly, like, they have a lot of stuff they can show to some capacity. They kinda lucked out that, like, Wonder Woman's, like, in the can, so they can show pretty much anything they want from that. They can tease about anything they want in production-wise, but that's one studio having their own thing, so they obviously can do kind of whatever they want, and that's kind of the beauty of it. Whereas, like half this, and which is also a good thing to some capacity too, because there's likely going to be a lot of things that they're showing at this fandom event that they wouldn't bring to Comic Con because it's just kind of like this stuff here that Disney's bringing.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't think that this is actually if they were going to be at San Diego Comic Con. I don't think like Marvel or Disney in general would be leading off with any of this stuff.
Yeah.
They're dumping it on the virtual event, but they're not gonna be dumping it like in, like I said, like Hall H or anything.
Yeah.
So, that's kind of a good thing with the virtual events in general, I guess, is that it's gonna be able to shed some light on some, I don't know, lesser known material. Not that like Phineas and Ferb or Marvel's lesser known, but like none of these big budget things that normally would not get any attention to this capacity are actually gonna be able to get a lot of attention on it now. So that's kind of a good thing, I would say.
Yeah. I
But
mean, the Phineas and Ferb thing does sound pretty exciting.
I mean,
I'm a big fan. Just kidding.
yeah, I'm not, so I can't even like I can't even really fake that. Like I never had any
Yeah.
interest in that. So But anyway, what do you guys think? Do you think this is kind of like disappointing? Do you think this is, a good move? Because I do think it's a good move. Like, I think it's good that Disney's doing something with the Comic Con thing, but I can't help but think it's kind of like, that's it. Like, that's all we're gonna do.
That's it.
So I don't know. Whatever you guys think, just let us know in the comment section below.